V'hashpo le'evrei ritzeinei hikeman d'shoder b'sa katvi l'seinei shalei b'ritzeinei. Okay, let me just conclude with one more word. What does it mean? The Eibishter creates klipa, but that's not pnimius ritzeinei. It's command d'shoder b'sa katvi. What's the difference between pnimius ritzeinei and stam rotzen? Obviously, the Eibishter wants to create klipa because he creates klipa, but it's not pnimius ritzeinei. So what is it? So he doesn't really want to make klipa, but he makes klipa anyway. What does this mean? The difference between pnimius rotzen and chitzenius harotzen. Pnimius harotzen is you. Your rotzen pnimi is you. That's what you want. That's how you are. That's what you think. That's you. What is chitzenius harotzen? A rotzen chitzeni means I want it, but not because of me. Chitzenius harotzen means that the cause for this rotzen comes from outside, from chitzenius. This outside rotzen, this outside motivation, must be very important. And it is very important, but it's not me. So, l'moshel, the Eibishter creates grass. Teitzi ha'aretz deshe. The Eibishter wants grass. This is pnimius ritzeinei. No. In order to have a tachteinim, so that there can be a dira b'tachteinim, what is a tachteinim? A world with grass. That's what the world needs to be a olam tachten. Not the Eibishter wants grass. The olam, in order to be an olam gashmi, an olam tachten, she'ein tachten lamata himena, has to have chazeh. So when the Eibishter creates the chazeh, this is what he wants. On the other hand, you can't say, well, he doesn't want. Nobody forced him to create it. If he created it, obviously he wants to create it. So that's correct. He does want it. But he wants it for a reason, not for itself.
That's the difference. Ratzon and kavanah, right?
It's a difference between Ratzon Pnimi. Ratzon Pnimi means, this is what I want. Ratzon Chatzeni means, I want this in order to get to what I really want. So the difference is that a Ratzon Pnimi is the end result. A Ratzon Chatzeni is a means to the result.
So who's forcing that on him? That it has the tachtonim has to be in a way that he doesn't want it.
The kavanah.
It's something else that's forcing him, that's making him do it like this?
Something else.
It's
an indirect ratzon. In order to have what I really want, this is necessary.
What's making that necessary?
The kavanah. That has to be dafke tachten. Yeah. So anything you want for a reason is a ratzon chitzeni. What you want b'pnimis, you don't need a reason. There is no reason. If there's a reason, it's already not pnimis haratzon. So why does the Eibishter want a mitzvah? Because the mitzvah will be mevarer the tachten. No. The Eibishter wants a mitzvah. That's ratzon pnimi. What does he want the mitzvah for? Not for. A mitzvah is not for something. A mitzvah is a mitzvah.
Because if it's for something.
If it's for something, then you don't really want it. You want what you're going to get from it. It's not a ratzon pnimi. So, unfortunately, in the time of Golus, it's taka true. The mitzvah is mevarer, some chelik of the world. People have to travel. Me'Hashem etzadei geva keinonu. You have to travel here and you have to travel there to bring kedusha to this place, to bring kedusha to that place. That's golus. And that's why when Mashiach comes, then we will do mitzvahs kemitzvahs zitzeinecha. Now there is an effect that the mitzvah has. After Mashiach comes, there's no effect. It's just the mitzvah.
When we do a mitzvah, it's not Ratzon Pnimi?
It is. Of course it is. But it also is having an effect in the Tachlis HaKavanah. But when Mashiach comes, it will be only the Tzeincha.
So the Tachlis HaKavanah is the Beren. Je had natuurlijk twee zaken. We hadden de Beren, we hadden de Eitzem HaMitzvah.
Right.
Welke de Pnimis Rutz?
The Pnimis HaRatzon is the mitzvah. But today, the Pnimius of the mitzvah is Behelim. Unless you learn, unless you don't see it. That's why in the true sense of a mitzvah, every mitzvah is chukim. Even the mishpatim are chukim. So the mashal, you eat matzah. Why? It's not a chayk. It's a mishpat. Yeah? Huh? But the Torah gives a reason. Huh?
There's two chiyuvim. There's one is because Mishum Levi Zakas and Hussein didn't have time to bake. And then one of them was to eat it with the Pesach. Right?
Yeah, but what's the reason? Oh, so now we have a reason. Why do you eat matzah? Why do you keep Pesach? Because you should remember. And why should I remember? So any time you give for a mitzvah, it's never enough. Hagufa kasha. The mitzvahs were given l'tzad of bemes habriyos. Why? L'tzad of bemes habriyos. Why l'tzad of? So the reason also needs a reason. It's ein l'davar soiv. So it turns out that be'emes, every mitzvah is a chayk. Kach ola b'rtzeini ve'ein loch l'shus l'harera. Not the, it's modna loshen ein loch l'shus. Adarabah, be maharer. You'll never figure it out because there's, what says ein l'shus l'harera. But that's, every mitzvah is be'etzem a chayk. Me'idach gisa, every chayk is be'etzem a mishpat. So the Ben Chacham wants to know why there are chukim mishpatim. Hashpah that comes with pnimis means two things. It means this hashpah is meant for you. It fits you. It's appropriate to you. It will make you who you are, help you fulfill your kavanah, right? Your shlichus. That's one side. The other side of a rotzen pnimi means if I'm giving you something, it's for you, it's appropriate to you, it fits you, but it also is coming from me. The mashal of Shadale Basa Katve, when you don't like somebody, but you have to deliver a package, what do? You throw it to him over your shoulder because you don't want to look at him. You hate him, you don't want to look at him. But you have to deliver the package, you're the mailman. So you deliver the package, but you don't look at him. Not looking at him says two things. I don't look at you because I'm not giving this to you. I don't care about you. I'm delivering it to this address. It happens to be you. But don't think I'm giving this to you. I hate you. I would never give you anything. At the same time, when I don't look at you, I'm telling you, I'm delivering this package, but don't think it's coming from me. Because from me, you're not going to get anything. Right? So not looking at him says two things. Nicht dir meint man und nicht mir meint man. This is not coming from me, and it's not for you. Take it. But I'm not involved, leave me out of this, and you're not involved because I don't care about you. That's the pshat basar katve. What happens if you give a child candy? You don't really care about the child, and you certainly are not involved yourself. You don't want to be bothered. The kid is going to scream, give him a candy, shut him up. So what happens? The child who gets this candy is going to love you for it. He's going to feel closer to you. He's going to be grateful to you. He's going to want to do you a favor. No. Adarabah. This gift, the candy that you give him, is poison. Because every candy that you give him makes him demand more candy. There's no gratitude. There's no thank you. You gave me yesterday, why aren't you giving me today? So instead of producing gratitude, it actually produces more greed. Because the way you give affects how it's going to be received. The way you give determines the result of that giving. Since you're giving b'chetzenis, you're only doing it because you're supposed to. It's not personal from you. It's not personal to the other. It's not lishmai or lishma. What's going to be the effect? It's not about me and it's not about you. So give me more. There's no improvement. In other words, klipa is created basar katve. The Eibishter is not really invested in this, and the Eibishter doesn't really want klipa. So the result is klipa has no kedusha.
Yeah, but you had a capable position.
It's getting all its hashpah from the Eibishter, but it doesn't have any good effect. Why? That's what happens when the hashpah is b'chetzenes.
And the flip side?
The flip side is, if it's from you and you really want the person to get it, then it almost doesn't matter what you're giving. The result is that the person who gets it is koteinti mikol achsadim. He becomes edel. He becomes grateful. He's content with what he has. That's the difference between pnimius and chatzenius. Pnimius and makif. So it's true of all interactions, of all relationships. If it's a pnimi, the father really wants his kid to be a mensch, then the result will be a mensch. It may take time, it may take effort, but the result will be a mensch. If the father just wants quiet, so he gives the kid a candy and shuts him up, what's the result going to be? Not going to be a mensch. So some of the secular education methods that are very effective, really impressive. You walk into a classroom where they use this secular philosophy. Every kid is in his seat. Every kid is doing what he's supposed to do. Everything works like clockwork. They go from one activity to another. They never miss a minute. It's amazing. It's beautiful. None of them are going to be a mensch. Because it's not about them. It's about group dynamics. You have to do this now because otherwise you'll disrupt the class. So it's not about you and it's not about me. We just have to do it this way because it works. When it becomes so impersonal, the kid will learn, he'll get a good grade on his report card, and he's going to be a monster. Remember there was a story in Columbine. These kids came to school with shotguns and killed 15 students. 2 students came to class with guns and they killed 15 students. So, of course, everybody was talking about the parents, how upset the parents must be, and what do the parents think. And very few people stopped to ask the teacher, you were their teacher, how do you feel? But you had nothing to do with it, you were the teacher. So years afterwards, one of the teachers, Taka, was interviewed, and she said that it made me stop and think, what am I doing? I come, I teach them math, and I teach them science. What am I, creating smart murderers? I'm helping them be better murderers? Maybe I shouldn't teach them anything. They shouldn't know how a gun works. So we make them smart, and then they become murderers. Pretty shocking. So that kind of method, where you go through the classroom and do what's best for the classroom, that's very efficient. Very, very practical. But you're not going to get a mensch out of this.